Yo, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is your boy Jay bringing us a brand new 2023 NFL video. And guys, I'm a little sad because me being a Patriots fan, this video is going to be pretty rough because the news broke. If you didn't already know, DeAndre Hopkins has officially signed to an NFL team. The wait is over. He was released a few months ago, and everybody was wondering where he was going to go. The Chiefs, the Titans, the Patriots, the Browns, the Panthers, and today finally decided to sign with the Tennessee Titans. And as a Patriots fan, again, that kills me to say, I was pretty confident up until today, really the day he signed. What's the date? July 16th, that he was going to sign with the Patriots. But over the last 2 to 3 weeks, I kind of grew a little less confident just because a deal hadn't been made yet. And I think it was last week reports were coming out that the Titans were getting very aggressive with him, and they were pushing very hard for a DeAndre Hopkins signing. So, I'm not really surprised. It's more just kind of like, all right, reality has set in and that he is no longer going to be, he's not going to be a Patriot, which sucks. But in today's video, basically, we're going to be breaking down the contract, what it means for the Titans and the Patriots, and just going over all the details of the contract as well. Also, I know I haven't uploaded in 2 months. Basically, there's just no NFL news going on now that the Hopkins signing is here. I think there's going to be, we're getting close to the NFL season. Preseason's in less than a month, so definitely going to get more consistent now with the NFL videos. And this one will be the first of the consistent kind of videos we're starting again. So hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments of the DeAndre Hopkins contract, and if you're sad, happy, whatever. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get to the video. So I'm going to read a little bit of this article first that the NFL Network page wrote, talk about the contract and then what it means for both the Titans and the Patriots, because I want to talk a little bit about the Patriots because, yes, I am a Patriots fan, but also because they were close to landing Hopkins, and that is kind of a big loss for them as well. So talk a little bit about them as well. So starting off though, and then I do want to say also, this contract is not confirmed. It's not confirmed what it's going to be, but whatever it is, it's going to be a lot of money, and it is pretty much confirmed that he will be going to the Titans. So the Tennessee Titans are expected to sign 3-time All-Pro wide receiver to a 2-year, $26 million contract, NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. Per sources, the deal has a base value of $12 million for 1 year with a chance to get up to $15 million in that first year, and then the total contract can be worth up to $32 million with incentives per Rappaport. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the money talks, mainly because, like I said, the details are still a little shaky. But it does seem like he went for the money over the ring, which is, a big kind of question people were asking. Is he going to go for the money? Is he going to go for a Super Bowl ring, kind of like what Odell Beckham Jr. did when the Rams won the Super Bowl? So this contract, I believe in the second year, he'll have $26 million. I think that's what it was. So, the base value at the second year, it'll be doubled. And then $6 million in incentives to get it up to $32 million. So I think $32 million is the max of the contract. But like I said, the details are still shaky. So, but basically, yes, he did get a lot of money. That was one question. I just kind of said it, but is he going to go for the ring or is he going to go for the bag? He did go for the bag. And another driving factor, I believe, was someone reported that when Odell Beckham Jr. was signed to his $18 million contract with the Cardinals, or excuse me, not the Cardinals, the Ravens, that was a big factor for DeAndre Hopkins too. And he said, if Odell Beckham can get that type of money, I want that money plus more. So he did get a lot of money. I think he got what he wanted. I think he's pleased. And he had a lot of options. I mean, the Chiefs were potential in that market with Chris Jones potentially being extended. They could have freed up cap room to save him. The Patriots obviously had enough cap room to make any deal he wanted. But I think he's happy with Tennessee. I know a lot of people are kind of surprised. Just, you hear Tennessee and you don't really think Super Bowl contender, that dangerous of a team. But he chose Tennessee. He got his money. So I think he's happy. And now kind of want to talk about what it means for Tennessee and what it means for New England. So, start off, we'll talk about some of the positive effects I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to have on the Titans. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's going to have many. I think it's going to have positive effects on the Titans, but I don't think he takes this team and makes them a playoff team or a Super Bowl team. And I know that might sound kind of crazy to some of you. I hope it doesn't, because I really don't think adding DeAndre Hopkins makes this Titans team a whole lot better, but we'll see. But some of the positive effects definitely in the receiving core. It's going to take some of the pressure off of guys like Treylon Burks, Nick Westbrook-Ikede, Kyle Phillips, those guys, because really last season, Treylon Burks was the wide receiver 1, and that went pretty horrible. Now, I will say I am higher on Treylon Burks than most people. I think, you get him a consistent quarterback and you have him be the wide receiver 2 where, all the pressure isn't on him, which now at least he is the wide receiver 2, and DeAndre Hopkins kind of spreads the receiving core out a little bit. I think that's definitely going to help Treylon Burks and all the other receivers on the Titans roster. The one problem to me, though, I see is this instability at quarterback. And this is one of the reasons it surprised me DeAndre Hopkins went there, is when he said on his wish list what he wants in a team, he said stability at quarterback. And the Titans are probably the least stability at quarterback team right now. Will Levis, Malik Willis, and Ryan Tannehill. Really, we don't know who's going to start. I think right now it's kind of a battle between Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis, which is what everyone thought. But then there was a report came out a few weeks ago that Malik Willis is playing better than Will Levis. So that is a big thing right now. We have no idea who's going to start at quarterback. And really, I don't see any of these three quarterbacks doing that well. Ryan Tannehill, I think he'd be the best option just because he's a veteran. He's consistent. Malik Willis, he didn't look great last year, but I find it unfair to judge him under that horrible offense. So, Will Levis, he's a project quarterback. It's going to take him a while to get settled in. So whoever it is, I think it's going to be, not the best. I think Ryan Tannehill would be the best option. But again, he has the major cap hit. So Titans are kind of, I don't know. It's a weird spot for the Titans right now with the quarterback situation. So that is one thing to factor in. I don't see that going over great. And then, another thing, that offensive line, it's still pretty horrible. Yes, they added Peter Skoronski, but other than that, that offensive line is another thing that I don't see going over well. And the other kind of big thing to do with that offensive line is Derrick Henry. I am not very high on Derrick Henry this year. Now, yes, I think he's great, and I think he will have another good season, but Derrick Henry, he's 29 or 30 now. He's getting old, and when you're a running back, especially like Derrick Henry, who has just gotten pounded for so long in your career, it doesn't take much. It takes maybe a single little injury, or even just just a running back like that can fall off pretty quickly. And when you're when you're running behind an offensive line like the Titans, that doesn't take much. So I'm kind of concerned about Derrick Henry there, which doesn't necessarily directly relate to DeAndre Hopkins, but I am a little concerned there with Derrick Henry and him aging as well. So the Titans, I think it was a great addition. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple weeks ago when I was doing my prediction videos, I said I think the Titans go like no more than maybe 5 wins, 6 wins. I was pretty low on them. I do think Hopkins definitely does elevate this offense, and I do think now the Titans do have a pretty good shot to finish, I'd say like second in the division. I originally had them placing last in some of my prediction videos, like behind the Texans, behind the Colts. Looking at it more, I do find that pretty crazy. They have a solid defense. So in terms of where they finish in the AFC South, I would say the Jags definitely finished first. I think they definitely finished above the Texans. I think the Texans will be the worst team this year in the South. I think the Colts are going to be kind of a contender with the Titans. But I would say if it came down to it, I would say like second or maybe even tie for second with the Colts. I think they'll kind of be neck and neck with the Colts. Because I am pretty high on the Colts. I am high on Anthony Richardson and that offense. So in terms of where they finish, like record-wise, I would say like anywhere from 7-10 to like 9-8. I would be very surprised if this team made the playoffs. And again, I like the Titans, but to me, they kind of remind me of the Steelers now, where and Mike Vrabel, they have a great coach, they have an okay roster, but I think they'll kind of be that team that like maybe just gets like a 9-8 win. Like they finish above 500 every year, but that doesn't mean they necessarily do anything. Like that's kind of the Titans to me. Is they're going to be that team along with the Steelers maybe, but like where they're not the best roster, but somehow they manage to go like 9-8 and just get above 500 each season. To me, I think that's what the Titans are going to be, and that's kind of me being generous. I could also see the Titans like maybe 5-12. Like I really am not high on this Titans roster. I'm not high in the quarterback situation. And like I said, I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to elevate that receiving core. But even then, especially in such a stacked AFC, I don't see this team being able to do much, even if they made it to the postseason, which I don't see happening. But even if they did, I think best case scenario for the Titans this year would be like a round 1 exit. But overall, I would say around like anywhere, like I said, from 7-10 to 9-8. I'm just not super confident on that offense. But I do, like I said, I think it's a good addition. I do, they're very confident in him. They paid him a lot. They went after him. They'll have him for at least 2 years. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe, either Malik Willis or Will Levis, maybe they are a stud. Maybe they do come and totally elevate the offense and take them to the next level. Who knows? Maybe they do. As of now, though, I'm just not very confident in it. But like I said, I do think this addition does bring them up from what I originally had them in, which is like 3rd or 4th in the AFC South. So I do think it was a good addition in the end. Now we move over and talk about my New England Patriots and what it will mean for them to not land DeAndre Hopkins. And I'm going to be honest, I don't see it being a big problem that they did not land DeAndre Hopkins. Now, yes, if they landed him, I would be ecstatic. I'd be very happy. It would help Mac Jones in his third year, having previously worked with Bill O'Brien and DeAndre Hopkins. I think that would have been a big connection between the offensive coordinator and the receiver. I think it would have kind of created separation on the receiving core, and I think it would have helped the DBs better practice against a true wide receiver one with going against DeAndre Hopkins. But the thing is, and this is kind of my argument, is you look at last year, Matt Patricia, the worst offensive coordinator in the league, was calling the plays. Mac Jones had a horrible year under him. The receiving core was awful. You look at it now, Bill O'Brien coming in, who say what you want about him, he's at the very least a decent offensive coordinator. So, in the offensive coordinator column, you go from awful, the absolute worst, to at least decent. And I think it was PFF said Bill O'Brien is like the third ranked right now in the offensive coordinator column. So I think he's a good offensive coordinator. I mean, PFF clearly thinks so. So that's one thing, much better offensive coordinator. And then the receiving core. I think this receiving core is much better than it was last year. Devontae Parker was extended. Juju Smith-Schuster signing. Demario Douglas and Kayshon Boutte both got in the draft. Demario Douglas, who has been reportedly doing great in training camp. He's very elusive, kind of reminds me of Deebo Samuel. Tyquan Thornton, who I'm very high on. I think he's going to have a great year too. And Kendrick Bourne, who, similar to Demario Douglas, is kind of more like that elusive receiver, versatile receiver should be the word, and he's been doing great at training camp. So I think this receiving core is going to be much better under Bill O'Brien. I think he's going to maximize the potential out of this receiving core. And yes, you can argue that DeAndre Hopkins is much better than any of these guys, and yeah, that may be true. But you look at last year and how bad the receiving core was, how awful Mac Jones played, how horrible the offensive coordinator was, and the Patriots finished 8-9. They finished 8-9, and you look at some of the games. The Raider game, awful ending, but you think that was a very winnable game that would have put us at 9-8. You look at the Bengals game, 22-18. Ramondre Stevenson fumbled. That game would have put us at 10-7. We would have beat the Bengals. And there's other games similar to that last year where they were very close. And go watch it for yourselves if you guys want. The Patriots season last year, lots of games were decided by one score in the final couple minutes. The Vikings game, that was another one. 31-24. Lots of games where had the Patriots, it's like just a one-score difference that would have ended differently for the Patriots. And my point being with that is the Patriots, yes, having DeAndre Hopkins would be nice, but I think they're already kind of over that hump they were last year with Bill O'Brien, with the additions to the receiving core, and then with Matt Jones. I think he's going to have a great year 3. I think he's going to get back to his rookie year form under Bill O'Brien, and I think he's going to ball out. I think, yes, DeAndre Hopkins would have been nice. Like I said, having, that elusive receiver for the secondary to practice on, and then kind of, having that clear wide receiver one veteran for the offense. Yes, I think that would have been nice. But I think they're already over that hump of 8-9. I think this is a team that could go 10-7, 11-6. I really do. And I know it sounds crazy to some of you guys, but I think this team, with Bill O'Brien, with this upgraded receiving core, with Mac Jones hopefully returning to his rookie year form, I think it's a team that could easily get 10-11 or even 12 wins. I really do. And I'll make a prediction video in a couple of days about the Patriots and really why I think that. But I'm very confident in this team. And yes, I am very sad. I woke up and I saw DeAndre Hopkins sign, but that was the first thing I saw on Twitter, and I was pretty sad. But I still have confidence in this Patriots team, and I don't want any of the Patriots fans to think that's it. We're not going anywhere. The season's over. I don't want Patriots fans to think that, because last season, we were this close, and now with the additions we've had, I seriously think this is a playoff team. I really do. And so, yeah, I think obviously it's a bummer, but I'm still confident in Mac Jones and Bill O'Brien. I'm still confident in this receiving core. This defense, I'm very confident in. Much better defense than it was last year with some of the additions. So I'm very excited to watch this Patriots team, and I hope if you're a Patriots fan watching this, you don't think that the non-signing of DeAndre Hopkins is a super big deal, because to me, I look at it like high reward, low risk. If we didn't get him, which we didn't, I don't think it's going to negatively affect us that much. If we did get him, I think it was a great reward. It's going to be awesome, but I don't think it's that big of a deal that we didn't get him. Is it a disappointment? Absolutely. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. Now, the one concern I have is I hope it doesn't create any tension, unhappiness in the locker room. I hope it wasn't Bill O'Brien really wanted to go after him, but Bill Belichick didn't, because it was pretty clear Bill Belichick was not being very aggressive, and I hope Bill O'Brien isn't upset that Bill wasn't more aggressive to him. I hope this doesn't deflate Mac Jones' confidence. I hope it doesn't, kind of ruin his confidence. So that's the one thing. I hope it doesn't create any unsettledness in the locker room, but I have confidence. I don't think it's going to create that big of a deal. But yeah, that's about it. Let me know in the comments who you guys want the Patriots to sign, because they still have a lot of free agent, or they still have a lot of cap space. So let me know who you want them to sign down below. Maybe another receiver you want them to go after. Cornerback, whatever you guys want them to go after. Let me know what you would like to see them sign in the near future. Thank you guys so much for watching. And like I said, I will be more consistent with the NFL videos now that the preseason is coming up in less than a month. Lots of more free agent news, I would imagine, coming up soon. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been Jay Lay, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.